The dark, shadowy figure slowly made its way up the stairs towards us. Step by step, it dragged itself closer and closer. Many years ago, I worked as a technical assistant at a coal mining company. The job wasn't too bad. It was basically just doing the grunt work for those with degrees, taking samples of rocks, doing data entry, driving the surveyors around, etc., etc. One of my duties, though, was to go into the underground mines and take coal, dirt, and air samples on a regular basis. Often, this would be a little bit away from the other workers. There was always one place, deep in the mine, that I always hated to go. Whenever I was down there, even if the closest person was over 30 yards away, it always felt like there was somebody standing just behind me and to the left. Sometimes it even felt and sounded like they were whispering in my ear. One of the creepiest places we ever went to was this old abandoned hospital. There was a large, square staircase spiraling up to the roof on the outside of the building, locked with a steel door at the bottom. The only way up was to climb on the outside up to the first landing and then climb onto the stairs from there. My buddy boosted me up, and I climbed over, and that's when I saw this sleeping bag with a steak knife next to it. I called down to my buddy, we're definitely not alone in here, dude. And then a voice came from behind me.
"No, but it's cool."
It honestly scared the shit out of me, causing me to jump and whirl around. And there's this young, dirty, homeless-looking guy standing there, and he's coming down the stairs from above, hands up and palms out.
"Didn't mean to scare you,"
he says. He takes a seat on the stairs, and so I carefully step on the handle of the steak knife and lean over the edge and pull my friend up. We had planned to sit on the roof and drink beers, so we offer the homeless guy a beer, which he gratefully accepts. We start chatting with him for a while on the landing. We're talking about the city, the cops, and life in general. We find out that he's basically a drifter. He's been in town for a week or so, but he's a really nice guy. Things were going pretty well when he asked,
"You guys are human, right? I really hate it when I meet people and they end up being aliens. You never know who's who until you peel their skin off. They've really been after me a long time, you know. They don't stop. They never stop. Sometimes I think I should just kill everybody to be safe."
He definitely was not joking, and there was an uncomfortable silence as my friend and I realized, this guy's crazy. "Yeah, dude, we're human. We just wanted to check the place out and drink some beers. I think we're gonna get going, though. We don't want any trouble." And then he just sat there in silence. It was getting awkward, so we left him the last beer and carefully backed up to the railing. We jumped down and walked away quickly, constantly looking back over our shoulders. The entire time, he was just standing there, staring at us, watching us walk away. The place is still abandoned 5 years later, and we've never been back. I'm not really a believer in the supernatural, but I think I've come to learn that humans can be just as scary as ghosts. There's this really old abandoned asylum in Northville, Michigan that my friends and I explored 3 times. The story I'm about to tell you is about the third and final time that we ever broke in. I still get chills every time I think about this night. The first 2 times that we went, the asylum was more interesting than it was creepy to explore. Both times, we happened to run into very friendly people there. The first time we ran into another group of high school kids, and it scared the shit out of us. The second time, we met a couple stoner Vietnam vets that actually gave us a tour of the place. It's an entire complex, complete with underground tunnels, morgues, and a lot of files from back in the 50s. This time, we were alone, and we only had 2 flashlights between 3 people. It was a little unnerving being there so late at night with nobody else around. We could really hear our footsteps echo, and it sounded like it was coming from all around and behind us. They sounded like they always seemed to take one more step than we did. Anyways, after exploring much of the asylum and being considerably creeped out already, we decided to head to the main building. It's about 18 stories tall, and the view from the top is beautiful. It's by far the tallest building anywhere remotely close, and you can see Detroit from up there. By the time we're nearing the top of this seemingly endless staircase, our friend freezes and whispers for us to stop. "I heard footsteps," she whispered. I tried to tell her that it was just our footsteps echoing, but when both of them made me shut up and listen, I could hear it clear as day. The unmistakable sound of footsteps coming from the top floor. Now the building is tall, but very small area-wise, so we were very close to the sounds. Still standing on the stairs, we whisper amongst ourselves about what we're gonna do. My very stupid friend insisted that we go up and say hi. He was saying that it was probably just another friendly person. I tried to explain to him that we probably don't want to meet the kind of person that paces around the top floor of an old, abandoned asylum in the middle of the night. Unfortunately, we could not convince him, and he starts going up the stairs anyways. He gets about halfway up there, and then says, "Fuck this." He starts running back down the stairs, and we follow him all the way out. We never got to figure out who or what was pacing around up there that night. And to top it all off, a cop was passing by on the road and spotted us coming out of the building, and we had to run back into the complex to get away. I still think back to that night and wonder who was up there. There was definitely no guards at that place, so it was either some kids playing around or the tortured soul of a crazy person. Either way, that was way too close. So, me and my friends were taking photographs in an abandoned Pico power plant in Fishtown, Philadelphia. Fishtown. There was only one entrance you were able to get into the place, and it was at the back of the building. We spent a couple hours in there, took lots of photographs and explored, and then, on the way out, we noticed that the door was closed and locked. We could see that somebody outside had also parked a white van, so we knew that somebody was still in here with us. All of a sudden, we heard a loud, clanging bang echoing through the building. When we found the source of the noise, it turned out to be an old man hitting metal with a small hammer. We asked him if he was the one that put the lock on the door, and he said yes. However, when we inquired about being let out, he just screamed, "No!" When we told him it was the only way out, and that we would call the police if he didn't open it, he raised his hammer menacingly and said, "You kids better leave this building. Quick." Me and my friend ended up running back into the building and searching the pitch-black, partially water-filled bottom floor to try and find another exit. The whole time we were looking, we half expected him to come out of the darkness and attack us at any point. Thankfully, we found a door we could force open and escape before he could do so. We never went back. A few weeks later, though, a friend of ours actually went to the power plant himself. The weird guy with the hammer was still there and still making lots of noise. He even did the thing where he put a lock on the door to the building. But instead of asking to be let out, my friend just waited until the guy left before going out the normal exit. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed those stories. That asylum one kind of reminded me of Grave Encounters. The idea of the underground tunnels and morgue and all that stuff. Anyways, I'm going to be trying something new. We're going to jump right into the stories at the beginning of the videos, and then if you make it this far, you'll hear a few words from me. I'm still trying new things and learning what works and what doesn't, so I think this will be a good change. Let's you guys get right into the stories. I'll cut it there for now, though. If you liked the video, give it a like. If you disliked it, give it a dislike. Subscribing always helps me out. And yeah, I think that's it. I hope you're taking care of yourself and treating yourself well. Have a good night, friends. Bye for now.